Hello and welcome to the Automotive Trends Infotainment Center. Kia gave us a look at the 2015 Sorento this week. First thoughts, sleek and chunky. Very swept-back line, but it just looks bigger. It's actually 3.7 inches longer, rides on a 3-inch longer wheelbase, and sits half an inch lower, so there is some visual heft added here. Kia says they've enhanced the convenience and safety technologies while improving on the interior space, driving dynamics, and comfort. Unfortunately, they're not giving us a whole lot of details just yet, as they're saving that for the big debut in Korea later this fall. Moving on to Cadillac, 2 entries up this week. The CTS, minor refreshing. Mostly though, they're just showing off the new wreathless emblem. They are making the 8-speed auto, pretty much the standard transmission across the lineup, save for the rear-wheel drive V-Sport, which will retain its 6-speed automatic. Onboard Wi-Fi and inductive charging for cell phones and other handheld devices pretty well round out the interior enhancements of the 2015 CTS. Now the 2015 Escalade also receives the wreathless emblem, as well as its top-of-the-line platinum trim. Nappa leather seating surfaces, 22-inch chrome wheels, as well as more LCD screens than Best Buy. $90,270 will get you into the fully loaded platinum. Yeah, chew on that one for a bit. Also, 8-speed automatic transmission rounds out the lineup for all of the Escalades. That, I think, will be a very welcome addition. Speaking of high-dollar SUVs, let's go on to the 2015 Land Rover Range Rover Sport SVR. Now that's a mouthful, and this thing is quite a bit. $110,475. This amazing blue Land Rover joins the likes of the Mercedes-Benz ML63 AMG and the Porsche Cayenne Turbo in the upper echelon of premium SUVs with a very active sports twist. Under the hood is a supercharged 5-liter V8 shared with Jaguar and all of their R cars. It produces 550 horsepower, which is then channeled to all 4 wheels via an 8-speed automatic. This ambitious country tourer will sprint to 60 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds. It can do 162 miles an hour, and it still can go off-road because it is a Land Rover, and thanks to a dedicated 2-speed transfer case for true 4-wheel drive, and 9.3 inches of ground clearance thanks to the adjustable air suspension. It's also rather modestly styled in my opinion, aside from the blue paint. Now this next one, there's really nothing modest about this one. 2015 Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat. When they gave us the Challenger a couple of months ago, many of us knew it was just a matter of time before the Charger also received the same engine and the same Hellcat treatment. So under the hood, it's the same supercharged 6.2-liter V8 as is found in the Challenger SRT Hellcat. It's got the same 707 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque. This car will do 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. It's got an 8-speed automatic, and this will do 204 miles an hour flat out, which is actually 5 miles an hour better than the Challenger, and we can only surmise that it's because the Challenger is styled like a barn. No word on pricing yet. The Challenger rings the register at $60,000. We're guessing this is going to be very close to that. Actually, quite a bargain when you consider all the other very powerful sedans out there. I'm thinking M5, I'm thinking Mercedes E63 AMG. Shoot, you can even start talking about S63 and S65, because those don't even have above 650 horsepower with V12s powering them. And you can't get into those for less than $200 some odd thousand. So, quite a value. Probably isn't going to be the corner carver that any of those German sedans are, but that's Detroit muscle for you. Now we're going to throw it over to Brandon for a review of the 2014 Mazda 3 i sedan.
Well, if you are a fan of Automotive Trends, and we hope that you are, you probably already know that we have a soft spot for Mazdas. They are generally well into enthusiast-friendly territory, even with their mainstream offerings, things like the Mazda3, Mazda6, even the CX-5 little crossover utility is much better for an enthusiast driver than anything you can get from the competition. And the good news is that the new Mazda3 is probably the best one yet. For a lot of reasons. We like the 2-liter engine, but we'll get to that in a minute. We also like the new style. The last Mazda 3 in particular was getting pretty frumpy, and this one comes back to some nice swooping lines. Really like the front end on this. The new family Mazda grille works very well in our opinion at any size. And the 4-door sedan that we're driving here this week is actually probably our favorite new look, because the 5-door hatch, which has always been our favorite up till now, in the new generation has kind of got a kind of a droopy rear hatch area in our opinion. But the sedan looks very, very good, so we like that. The interior also continues to be very, very good. So you have a nice, straightforward cabin design, but the materials are very good for this class. Everywhere you reach, the materials feel great, and that includes the details like the center controls for the rotary knob that controls the infotainment system. Mazda has always lagged in this area, but now we have this easy to use, and it feels good too in the hand. You've got a home button, and that kind of gives you this nice layout to choose any of the 5 kind of categories that you might need to go into. You need to pop into the entertainment. You've got easy access to the nav, which is going to be used quite a lot, and you've got easy access to the audio, which is the other big function. We also like the standalone volume knob, very Audi-esque there. But we also have 2 more helpful buttons surrounding the controller. You've got the back function. You've also got a little star, which turns out to be a favorites list, so that you can store within your favorites list your AM, FM, or satellite radio stations, as well as any other, perhaps Pandora channels, things like that that you might have. Small diameter steering wheel feels great. The center screen, 7-inch, is the perfect size for this car. We like how it kind of has a modern aesthetic to it, kind of a thin screen coming up out of the dash. It just looks really nice. It's a bit more flamboyant in design than you'd get in this class generally, but other than that, just very solid design, and ergonomics are good as well. Rear seat area is also solid. This is a Grand Touring model, so we have some extra features like red stitching on the black leather, and the rear seats do fold down to allow for trunk pass-through, so that's also handy on a small car like this. Now, the Grand Touring also comes with a bunch of things that you don't really need to still keep the basic goodness that Mazda is including on every Mazda 3. So if you can do without things like leather or the navigation screen, you can get into a Mazda 3 for about $20,000, a little over 20, for a nicely equipped model actually. We're looking at about $25,000 for this loaded Grand Touring model. There's actually a few more things you can add to this model, but you don't really need any of them. We prefer the more basic approach when it comes to our Mazda 3s. However, the 2-liter 4-cylinder that is included on the base models is really all you need. It's 155 horsepower and 150 pound-feet of torque, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually more than enough, because Mazda continues their focus here on lightweight. So the 3 is more than capable when it comes to a nice light chassis, and that's really what continues to make the difference on driving this car versus the competition in the class. The Mazda is just tuned so well in its chassis that responses are much quicker, turn-in is fine. This isn't even a sport pack model. We're looking at the standard 16-inch wheels here, nothing particularly performance-oriented there. But yet this car behaves very, very, very nicely in all circumstances. The ride is phenomenal, actually. The ride handling balance is probably what sets this car apart above anything else. The ride remains comfortable over all pavement types, yet it never gets floaty, and the responses are still there and quick enough to be satisfying for an enthusiast. Now, we would like to drive this model with the 6-speed manual because we are driving the 6-speed automatic here. Now, the good news is Mazda has tuned that automatic very smartly, and it matches to the engine very well. It'll easily kick down a couple gears to get you into the passing power that you need. But other than that, the engine's refined and the fuel economy is there. Mazda continues to make good strides in that area. This car is actually approaching diesel fuel economy efficiency on the highway with a highway rating of 41 miles per gallon. And even in the city, 30 miles per gallon. Very, very strong fuel efficiency from the little Mazda here. So when you look at the style, which we like, the engine, which we like, the actual chassis, which is simply unbeatable in this class, and the included features for this $25,000 model, or if you can live without some of those, if you don't need the Bose audio or the, like we mentioned, the center screen, heated seats, things like that, for low $20,000 range, the car simply remains the class act of the small compact car segment. So you are doing a disservice to yourself if you're shopping in this market and not considering the 2014 Mazda 3.
Well, that's all I've got for you today. Keep reading Automotive Trends, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next time.